Hey guys, back with another weekly training summary. And this week I wanted to talk about, show some of my accessory work. A lot of people had asked about my accessory work last week, and to be honest, I only do 1 day of accessory work a week. I'm squatting 3 times a week, deadlifting 3 times a week, and benching 4 times a week. So this is on my day that I do bench only. I'll do some accessory work as well. So I'm doing, here I've got like a 50-pound dumbbell between my legs. I'm doing probably 8 sets of 5 with pull-ups, and that's just one. I'll do pull-ups, I'll do curls, I'll do shoulder raises. Basically just trying to kind of maintain what I have muscle-wise. I would ideally like to put in a second day of accessory work, but the problem becomes just with time, in terms of how much volume I'm doing on the big 3, and then with the young son and all that sort of stuff. So
I know he did, but
my workouts already get to the 2 and 3 hour range. So trying to put an extra day in there, I'd like to, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. Here you get a nice shot of Mr. Paul.
I think it was like a joke, like
half natty leg.
People kept saying like not natty, not natty.
So this week, as you're going to see, was pretty brutal. I'm really starting to get up there volume-wise. I was over 50,000 pounds of total volume this week on squats, over 40,000 total pounds of volume on deadlifts, and I think over 35,000 on bench. Here's me, there's a Paul. So here's me. I do a lot of blood flow restriction for my.
What are you doing over there?
For my accessory work. Some of you probably already know what blood flow restriction is, some of you may not. I'm not going to go into the whole theory of it. I'll provide a link to a video where I talk about the theory of it. But I really like it because it's a way to get a lot of volume in a short period of time. And it's also nice because you can use 20-30% of your normal weights and get the same hypertrophy benefits as heavy weights. So when I'm doing heavy squats, heavy deadlifts, 3 times a week, heavy bench presses, a lot of times, to be quite frank with you, I just don't feel like doing a lot of other heavy stuff. So I don't know what I'm talking about here. It's probably not good. So for those of you who've done blood flow restriction, people a lot of times ask me, well, is it safe because you're restricting blood flow? Well, you're only restricting arterial blood, or I'm sorry, venous return of blood flow. You're not restricting arterial blood flow to the muscle. Here's my poverty calves. So I do quite a bit of volume for calves, like 3 times a week, because obviously my calves are not that great. And they've just always been that way. My calves started at 11 inches, and now they're just over 16.
Yeah, you could have made a fortune off of that.
I probably have to work them out 7 days a week for 2 hours a session to really get them bigger. And even then, with the weight, having high calves, it's going to be difficult. So the way I set this up is I'm using an estimated 20% of my estimated 1 rep max on calf raises. Now, is that a real 1 rep max? Who knows?
Well, anything's easy nowadays.
But the first set is for 30. And then you rest 30 seconds, and then you do sets of 15, and you rest 30 seconds between each set. And I'm sure a lot of you are going to say, well, you're not using much range of motion. Well, it's difficult on blood flow restriction because you get such a nasty pump. It gets difficult to move at a certain point. A lot of people also ask me, why am I wrapping at the top of the leg as opposed to just below the knee? Well, the limb, honestly, is too small just below the knee. If you wrap below the knee, you will cause too much restriction, and you'll actually cut off arterial blood flow. So you always wrap top of the leg or top of the arm, regardless for lower body or upper body. It's always the same place. In the words of Dr. Leneke, you wrap here and here, and he points to his arm at the top of his leg. It's much funnier when he does. But like I said, I like blood flow restriction. It's just another way to get more volume in. Here's me showing these medical tourniquets I use for arm blood flow restriction.
Medical tourniquets here, quick release tourniquets.
Very convenient.
Just
put them on,
$5 a
pull
piece
them
on
out, tighten
Amazon.
down. These are only $5 a piece on Amazon, and they are much easier than trying to use knee wraps on your arms. And people ask me, how tight should I go? It's hard to say. using knee wraps, I found that telling people about a 7 or 8 out of 10 on your legs works well. With these straps, probably about a 9 out of 10 because they're a little bit flimsier. But the way you know is if you can't complete the rep scheme, if you're using 20% of your 1 rep max and you can't complete 30 and then 15, 15, 15, the wraps are too tight or the weight's too heavy. Remember too.
That'd be a good cover
But like I said, I really like blood flow restriction. I still do regular weights as well. Like you saw me doing curls over there, I did probably 4 sets of curls for 5, 6 reps. Now I'm doing kind of higher reps with blood flow restriction. But like I said, volume was really getting up there this week. On squats, we did Monday 4 sets of 10 with 460. Then Wednesday 4 sets of 8 with 495. And then on Friday, which is coming up, which I'm going to show, I did 4 sets of 6 with 530, and then an AMRAP set for 8. But they were all ugly. I was not happy. But I'm just getting into that kind of overreach phase. And then bench-wise, day 1 was 280 for 4 sets of 9, and then 300 for 4 sets of 7.
Measure your arms before and after.
320 for 5 sets of 5, and 340 for 6 sets of 3 on day 4. And I think we're going to show the
firework.
Extraterrestrial.
No, we're showing the 5 sets of 5.
Hardcore, baby.
Here's me. You can see you're talking about the fluid shift. If you've done this before, you will feel the fluid shift. You'll feel that venous pooling of blood flow. And like I said, I don't want to get into the theory of it because it's well documented, but I will provide a link to the video. And that's what you can check out. And then deadlift wise, day 1 did 3 sets of 8.
A good arm.
Wait. Yeah, 3 sets of 8.
Arm and shoulder
with 500.
You've got the full split going.
On Wednesday, did 4 sets of 6 with 535.
For all you guys, start saying Lane's arms are not natty.
Yesterday,
go look at him when they were 18. He was all
4 sets of 4 with 570, and then an AMRAP set, which I got 11 reps on with 570. And
actually, if Lane's worth a shit,
I mean, it wasn't I was unhappy with him. I did 565 for 13 last week, so obviously 570 for 11 is not as good relatively, but there was so much total volume this week that at a certain point I was expecting my performance to start to drop off. And that probably just means I'm getting into that overreaching phase, which is good because I don't know if Ben will probably either have me taper this week or we'll do 1 more hard week and then taper because performance is starting to drop off. But that's okay because I know that once I taper and super compensate, I'll be stronger. And other than a kind of a nagging groin issue, I feel pretty good. When I do this much volume, my lower back is kind of chronically fatigued. So I try not to let it bother me too much. I'm kind of used to it now. It's not in pain. I'm just like I said, chronically. And there you can see the benefits of the articularies trying to catch this pop right off.
Is one of these are nice.
Now Paul's going to goad me into getting a front double bicep.
Give me a front double. Give me a front double and the sliding.
Yeah, there you go. Harkening that back to bodybuilding, obviously.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Got the whole crew in
now
here.
this is Friday's workouts and my AMRAP on squat workout. We have quite an epic crew here. Obviously, got
the
Paul
grandfather.
Revelia. The guy you saw at the beginning was Jorge Rosado. He has a very popular Instagram channel. The man, Ryan Doris, right there.
Like, we're getting the game back together.
The BBC.
Ryan,
lovely wife.
It's always fun to train with.
Who's that?
Isabel. And Erin Stern, actually, Miss Figure Olympia. She showed up because I had seen where she was interested in doing some powerlifting, and so I reached out to her and asked if she'd be interested in come in training with us, and she was. So we worked with her a little bit on her squat forward deadlift. She's definitely got a lot of.
Can't say that.
She's
They
definitely an
might not
athlete.
like us, you
She's got a
know.
lot of natural
We're kind of hard to get
talent
along with.
for this sort of thing.
Right, Reggie?
Yeah, what he said.
And it is Reggie.
BBC 2.
Mini BBC.
Mini BBC, exactly. Wait, what? What?
Called himself the mini BBC. Yes, he played hard. So here's some sets of squats. This is the first set of 6 with 530. And I remember doing the first few reps and thinking, oh my god, how the hell am I going to do 5 sets of this? It just... So on Wednesday when I came in and was doing sets of 495 for 8, I felt good. I mean, I was rifling the weight up. It was just moving so quickly. And today, it just felt like everything was crushing me. I don't know if you guys have ever had that experience where... But that actually is pretty normal when you train so frequently on squat. You'll just have days where you come in, you feel like a king, and you'll have days where you come in and you feel like you're getting crushed. And usually it alternates for me, so I had a great workout on Wednesday, and so this one sucked. Now, even so, I still finished, and that's kind of one of the important things to remember, is your feelings are alive in a lot of cases. If I had just gone off the way I felt going into this session, I would have walked out after the first set because it just felt terrible. But one of the nice things about having defined weights on a sheet to do is you just tend to find a way to do them and not make excuses. So, I mean, these are all not my best reps. Just felt really, really uncomfortable. Felt like the weight was crushing me. But we still got it done. So, I mean, it's funny. Paul always tells me, he's like, man, when you look at your first rep on some of these sets, he's like, there is no way you can convince somebody that you were going to do sets of 6 or you were going to do, an AMRAP set for more than 6 after that. And even on deadlifts, you guys are going to see how slow and terrible the first set looks. And part of that is just fatigue, and part of that is if I'm not going all out, I'm not quite as psyched up as usual, and so it just makes a difference. So this awkward camera angle here, you're going to get an excellent shot of Ben Esco. This is because Paul was walking through and kicked the camera. So instead of standing in front of the camera like Paul usually does, he just kicked it out of the way. So thank you, video noob Paul Revelia, for that. But you get, ladies, excellent shot of Ben Esco. He is single. So Ben is my coach, and as you can see, is extremely disinterested in these sets. But actually, I told him, I said, Ben, don't watch these because they're going to be ugly. So Ben is the most literal person I know. And after I got done, I was like, see, I told you they'd be ugly. And he looked at me and said, I didn't watch. You told me not to watch. I was like, well played, sir. Well played. So, yeah, but it's great to have been there and be around for when I'm training because when I ask for feedback, he's always very honest with it. So here is the AMRAP set, I believe, and some of the reps are a little bit better, but it still felt pretty slow, and it was very, very difficult. Obviously, like I said, I'm going to get 8 reps here, as opposed to I'd gotten 9 the previous week. Previous weeks were 520 and 525. Only 8 here with 530. Kind of dive bomb that one, as you can see. But again, considering how I felt was in terms of how I was performing on the previous sets. I was pretty happy with this because I was just concerned I wasn't going to get 6 on that day. And grinded through it. So we'll take it. And who knows what I said there at the end of that set. I think I was listening to the Man of Steel theme. And so here we go. Jorge Rosado spotting the D, Ryan Doris. Doris just, so after you've seen my squats and how just god-awful and ugly they looked right there, you're going to see just how much of a machine Ryan is. Ryan is gearing up to try his first powerlifting meet, and he's doing sets of 7 here with 415, and just absolutely smoking. He's going to be tough for people to handle. He'll be in the 198 class, I'm pretty sure, and he's going to be a handful for people, because I'm expecting him to squat in the high 5s, pull in the high 6s, and bench in the high 3s, so he's going to be over 1,600 pounds. So good luck with that, 198ers. Here's Isabel. She's well into her overreaching phase, and she was doing 3 sets of singles with 280, and they were really slow, but she got them. So I was really happy for her. It's Erin with 215. We're working on her form. She actually does really good with her hip drive. One of the things she had trouble with was keeping her head neutral. She cut that one maybe just a touch short, but I think it's because she was throwing her head back, because most people are taught squat with your head up, and that's completely wrong. I don't like looking down, but you should keep your head neutral. It should be a reasonable height. You should basically either look slightly down or straight in front of you. By throwing your head back, you're throwing the bar out of alignment, and you're gonna have issues reaching depth. But she did really well, and I have no doubt she'll be, if she sticks with it, she'll be squatting in the mid 2s here before too long. So it was cool to see her training and trying something different. Here's Paul. Paul been dealing with a lower back issue this week, so he went pretty light today. Just went to a conservative max of 365. But I mean, as you can see, slowing up there pretty quick. It was just a tough week for him. He was pretty beat up from the previous week. So here's my 5 sets of 5 with bench. Like I said, this is working with a wider grip, a little more arch. And the first set, I did not feel good on these. This was after I had done squats, and I was so freaking wiped out. I was just really tired, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to finish 5 sets of 5, but we got through them. One of the things I'm noticing with the wider grip on bench is that I'm not as fast, but I can grind out a lot more than I could with a narrower grip. With a narrower grip, I would throw the bar and it would go up probably the first foot really quickly, and then if I got stuck, that would just be it. There was no grinding through it. So I'm still getting used to this form, getting used to the more arch, getting used to the wider grip, and I don't want to say I like it yet because it's just really weird for me, but I think it's what I need to do in order to be able to bench over 4, because I've basically been stuck at 390 for the better part of a year, and I need to be over 4. There's just no question about it. If I'm going to be competitive at Worlds, I need to be over 4. And that's just all there is about it. So, kind of just telling myself on these sets, I need this, so let's do it. One of the other things I think is no problem with me is I get real fired up for squats and deadlifts, but on bench press, it's kind of like, oh, ho-hum, it's bench press. And I need to work on applying the same mentality I use when I squat and I deadlift to my bench press. Because obviously it's going to be just as, well, it's actually going to be more critical because I have the most room for improvement in that lift. And it's so funny too, because in bodybuilding I've always had good pec development, but I've never been a real strong, and I've been a strong dumbbell presser, but not a real strong bench presser. Kind of interesting how that worked out. I'm not sure what to think of that.
Don't rush.
But this is the last set right here. It actually went relatively smoothly. I was pretty happy with it considering how tired I was. I kind of jumped. There was no pause command there. There was no pause there. I kind of jumped it. But hey. So here's 570 for 4s, and you can see we're serious because the tights are. But you're going to see how just slow this first set is. I mean, that's pretty slow to break the floor. That's how I know I'm starting to get that overreaching phase. So They got better as the reps went on, but I never felt real comfortable all day. Right there. Now I've got the GoPro on, so I've actually got a GoPro. This is with just using the hook grip, so I'm practicing the hook grip here. A little smoother. I'm practicing, you know, making sure I'm using it correctly, even though using these straps, good for no problem. So you're actually going to see a video of me with the GoPro here up next. So you're going to see my setup, how I set my right foot, my left foot, make sure they're even, put my arms out, get a deep breath in before I grab the bar. Now I grab the bar, I'm going to take the slack out and pull here. So as you can see, there's a little bit of a pull. I'll try and show you, see if I can get it. There's a little bit of pull here, and then it comes. So that's me pulling the slack out of the bar, and then the hesitation is me pulling the slack out of the bar and then pressing to the floor with my heel. So I don't know how helpful that was. Some of you, it probably gave you nausea to watch, but figured I'd show it. So a proper sumo should be slow to break the floor and then fast to lock out. So as you can see, when I do it right, it is slow off the floor but accelerates as I pull up. So hopefully we can continue to get better at this, because I really, again, for how much I squat and how strong my lower back is, I should be able to pull well over 7. And I'm, you know, my best ever in the gym is 705, which is good, but it needs to be better. It needs to be in the 715, 720 range. So we're gonna work on making it happen. There's my last set, pressing the hook grip again, and here's the AMRAP set. Obviously using straps, I would have no thumbs left if I pulled AMRAP with that much weight. I actually got a little bit too amped up. Well, I don't want to say I got too amped up, but I grabbed the bar incorrectly, and I was actually loaded a little bit to one side. So I'm fighting a couple things here. I'm fighting the bar want to go to one side, and I'm fighting it bouncing to one side when it hits the ground. That said, I don't know if I would have had 12 in me today, even if I'd done everything right. I got to 5 reps, and I was like, oh man, this is gonna be brutal. And so it's just one of those things where, you know, you're not gonna be your best every single time. That was a tough one to lock. And, you know, just got to give it one more go. I've always got one more, right? So this was just a matter of staying patient and getting to the lockout and pushing my hips through. That's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.
You just slow mo.
Trollo. Trollo. Trollo.
I love Shark Week. What's up with that? I love